It has not been 10 minutes, but let me see. You are still unable to detect where the source of this magical aura is coming.
Okay, so I see something like here in this like.
Yes, this is the crevice that you're able to see is clearly some kind of opening into an underground area.
And off we go.
Just run right in.
Maybe we should fucking follow.
Okay, so as you approach that cave, you can suddenly feel that there is almost a wall of magic just coming out of there in waves. Nobody's stopping her or anything.
Nope,
She's
no one's
just
gonna stop
like
me.
taking off, and people are like, "Bye."
Raynor,
like,
come
see you
on.
later, bitches.
Petra drags Raynor along with her. Like, just
where the fuck
this-
did she go?
Just this 2'8" halfling dragging a fully grown human man.
Oh, Windsor is still hanging out back there.
He's there.
Things are stuck in a tree.
I'm not following the crowd. Okay. There's a lot of magic going on in there.
Really?
Yeah, I want to know what's in there. So,
Right.
Petra,
You-
I volunteer you as tribute.
Huh? What?
Yeah, there's food
Petra,
in
you're
there.
small. Go in the hole.
Go in the
Okay.
hole.
Yeah, so as you've all approached this hole, it's clearly a cave opening, and this is a large cave opening. It's easily 10 feet tall by 8 feet. It is not the crevice that it first appeared to be, but a rather large opening into there, underneath.
Okay. We
Can you
did
see
realize.
anything of interest through the opening?
Through the
Any
opening,
people in there or anything like that?
Through the opening, you can't see a whole lot. It's almost like everything past a certain point is blurry. What you can see is that there is some sort of reddish orange light coming out.
Defile, I hate to do this to you guys, but my dad is having technical difficulties with his TV with the internet, so I'll be right back as soon as
Okay, yeah,
possible.
no,
okay?
hurry up.
If you need to take over my character, just
I will.
take over.
If I have to, I will.
Okay.
Petra just kind of looks around at the opening of the cave and then goes in.
Okay.
Perfect. Great. Right after her.
Then in that case, let me. Okay, so Petra is now inside the cave. Is anybody else going into the cave?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I'm
Windsor.
following.
Setting your height
Windsor.
correctly.
I'll stay out here.
Okay, you have fun.
Just in case anything follows us in.
Petra not being able to see very far, kind of
And
just
Windsor's gonna
feels
use-
around in the dark.
It's still
So-
fucking dark in here.
It is still very dark in there. Okay, so as you move
Take us
forward,
away.
the blurriness becomes very apparently a wall. It is some sort of barrier has been established in front of you. But you can see on the other side of it, there are a few goblins, mostly amassed in a central area. And you can just slightly see that there is what appears to be elven woman, a rather beautiful elven woman, is stuck in this area with these goblins.
Interesting. Okay. Well, we can't see if there's any way through. Or can we check to see if there's any way through?
You can certainly check. What kind of check do you want to do? Are you checking the magic? Are you checking for rooms?
Petra just
or-
kind of tries to walk forward.
So you
Yeah.
walk forward and you run into it like it's a solid wall. You know, smashes against your face a little bit, and you kind of fall back on your ass. And you go, "Yep, nope, that's a wall."
She rubs her nose. Ow. I hurt myself.
Yeah, I'll try and detect. No, not detect, but try and see. I'll do an Arcana check.
Okay, go for it.
Oh,
Okay, oh, Yeah,
down.
so
Okay.
you walk up to it and you kind of touch it and you realize that this particular wall is a password guarded wall. But the passwords are usually really redundant and easy because these particular walls aren't a very advanced spell. It's something people usually set up in a hurry. And the password usually involves something that you can see while standing there. So you look around a little bit and you notice that there's 3 potential things that it could be. You see lava, rock, and bone.
Okay.
Petra looks at Amaranth, seeing if she has any information.
I'm just gonna say all 3 words. Just hope for the best.
You're gonna say all 3 words at once?
Brute force. I like it.
Yeah,
What did
so,
you say the 3 were?
so there's lava, rock, and bone.
Lava, rock, bone. Lava, rock, bone. Lava,
Okay,
rock, bone.
so you say
lava, rock,
lava?
bone.
You say lava,
Yes.
and the wall in front of you disappears. Then you say rock, and it immediately locks again.
Ow!
And then you say bone, and the wall to your side opens up.
Petra runs over towards that one.
Before she can close it.
Yes.
You just keep seeing the doors go on, close, open, close, open, close, open, close.
It's just appearing and disappearing.
She yells over towards Windsor and you. Hey guys, over here! Still
so you
ignoring
yell?
Amaranth. Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Uh-oh.
And roll initiative.
Yeah. So everybody. I rolled. Yeah. So everybody in the cave did hear you. It's a very echoey chamber. So you go, oh no! And then you just hear all of the goblins go, hey! And they turn and look in your direction, as well as the elf woman. And the elf woman looks at you with panic in her eyes. And you can't tell exactly what she's panicked about, but she's clearly panicked about something as multiple goblins rush over into this general area. They all have their weapons drawn, but they don't seem immediately hostile.
Petra waves at them.
And I'm gonna move Raynor into there real quick. too.
Do I hear this outside?
You would not hear it outside. The barrier,
Okay.
though they are able to walk through it, blocks the sound.
Okay, cool. Because I'm just hanging out here just in case something came in. So I'm waiting out here.
Raynor's tokens.
Thank you.
So we got Raynor. Okay. So, you guys hear the goblins approach, and they're just kind of standing there waiting to see what you're gonna do. They have their clubs raised, and they're just kind of like almost itching for a fight, but they seem restrained for some reason.
Well, I'm going to say lava to open this door, and then go
Okay.
through it.
Right, so you say lava, the door opens, and you can see that the blurriness fades away, and you're able to step through it. And at this point, you would have heard the goblins around the other side, but you would have also noticed that the wall in front of you had blocked the goblin sound, so you only heard them coming from through the other door yourself.
Okay.
And now that you're on the other side of the wall, you can immediately hear everything around you.
Okay.
So we say, hey, fellows, know where the bathroom's at?
So the goblins kind of look at each other confused, and they kind of look towards the elven woman, and then put themselves between you and the elven woman. And then they go, "What do you want? Why are you here? Here."
What you guys doing?
Are you asking anyone in particular, or just
Oh,
to
that's the one that's like closest
Okay.
to me.
So he turns to you and he goes, "That's none of your business."
I'm going to bluff my way out of this. And be like, I think it is. Well, actually, I'll just argue that no, it is mine. It is my business.
Okay. Are you saying that in an intimidating way, or are you trying to persuade them?
This way, though.
Okay. Then go ahead and roll a persuasion.
Okay.
$17? Okay. So the goblin looks confused for a minute, and then looks at the elven woman, and then back at you at the elven woman, back at you, and he's like, "Y'all look the same. Whose coffin is this?" And as he
Whip
says
take
that, he
offense.
gestures to this coffin that you cannot see. Everybody else is able to see this, except Amaranth.
Petra just
Amaranth sees a gaping cloud of blackness. Everybody sees this cloud, but can see through it. Amaranth is unable to see through this cloud.
Someone pretty important.
So the goblin looks confused for a minute, and looks back and he goes, "Okay, what do you do now?" And then he just kind of waves at his people with these like clawed hands, almost like he was doggy paddling through the air. And they all kind of back up a little bit, but they still keep their weapons at the ready, because they're clearly confused by your answer. Being low intelligence creatures, they were expecting you to try and guess a name. So you were technically correct. You didn't say the name, but it is somebody important. So they all back off. However, the elven woman, who at first appeared frightened, steps forward and just kind of sizes all of you up. And I'm gonna move Raynor over here.
I
So
made it back, so
okay,
we're all
welcome back. You might have 2
Petra's
tokens.
just-
If you do, I'm sorry.
Petra just looks incredibly small compared to everybody in the party.
Your goblin size.
Yeah, so you just want to look normal size. You're like normal people.
But she's an elven woman.
But yeah, so the elven woman steps in front of you, walks past the goblin, steps up in front of you, and goes, "Can I help you?"
Quick thing to file. The OBS is on the.
I'm aware.
Outside
I can't seem to get it to go down, and I don't know if that's because Toby's token is outside.
It's probably because of that.
That's what I'm guessing. I'm looking for a way to fix it.
Nope, no more split
But-
parties.
But for now,
I can come in if it helps.
yeah. But go ahead and with the roleplay. Let me see if I can fix this. It might just be because the
Now bring him inside and then make him invisible.
yeah.
It's alright.
see, that
I'll
does-
just stand here. I'll just stand here.
Yeah, just like
Yeah, so it looks like it's just the way that levels works. There's no way for me to move the camera underground, so I'll just have to.
That's
suck
fine.
this up.
Suck
But
this
yeah, so, anyways, the elven woman looks at all of you and asks, "Can I help you?"
I'm here because I've detected some
Ow.
magic, and I'm interested in what this is.
She looks at the coffin behind her, and then she looks back at you and she goes, "I don't believe you have any reason to know that information."
That's true. You did say that out loud. Then why can't I see this massive black crowd?
And she kind of ponders for a moment, and then she looks behind her and she puts her hand on the edge of the coffin. Everybody but Amaranth can see that she sets her hand on the coffin, and she's got her hand over a specific rune that all of you would recognize as just an old rune. You don't know what it is, but it's clearly some sort of lettering. And she points directly at Amaranth and she goes, "What's under my hand?"
I have no idea.
And then she stands up and she goes, "Interesting." And then
Like this.
she just kind of turns around and walks away, completely disengages from you guys, has no more interest, and just walks over to this table back here. And as she passes the goblin, she just waves her hand at them, and they all step forward again. They don't raise their weapons any higher than they were. They're clearly not prepared to attack at the moment, but they've formed a clear wall of "you're not allowed to pass here."
Right then, who's up for a game of dice?
Hmm.
Do you actually say that?
Yes.
To the goblins?
Yes.
The goblins look back and forth, confused. Roll a persuasion check. So the goblins are confused, but also intrigued, and they kind of look back and forth, and two of them walk over towards the larger group of people over there, and they go, "Let's dice. Never played it."
Play dice. What kind of mercenaries are you? Every warrior knows about dice. It's the best thing to do when you have nothing else to
Know
do.
about dice?
So they
Petra just looks at Windsor confused. I don't know about dice.
So at this point, all of the goblins are pretty interested in this dice game that they've never heard of, and come over there to see what's going on with that.
Of course, I don't have dice on me. I was expecting them to have dice.
Well, they have no idea what dice is, so if you want to try and make up something on the spot, you can. What are
Petra
the rest
looks
of you
at
doing
the
at the same
goblin.
time?
Goblin? Petra's looking at the goblin directly beside her and saying, "Hey, is there any food around here?"
And he just
I'll-
kind of like shoves you off, just like clawed hand brushing at the air. He's not necessarily trying to claw you, just almost like shushing you as he's looking at Windsor, waiting for some sort of revelation about these dice.
Okay, so dice, you get little cubes, usually made out of bone. And you put marks on them, and then you roll the dice, and whoever gets the higher number wins.
So as soon as you say that, one of the goblins gets really excited, turns around, grabs a big femur from the bone pile behind it, and starts gnawing on it, and then throws it on the ground and goes, "Do I win? Do I win?"
Close,
Petra
but
just kind of
Gross.
Petra just kind of walks over and squats beside the bone and looks at it and looks at the goblin, then looks back at it and then looks back at the goblin and goes, "I think so."
I'm gonna go and grab Toby, bring him in. I think we should see what's going on.
Petra is just as intrigued as the goblins are at this point.
Hello.
I think you should come in and see this because there is something weird going on here.
No, it's dark in there. I'm there.
I've got my torch on.
That's alright. I'll build my own light source. There you go.
Okay. Well, I'm then gonna go up to the black. Oh,
Okay. And as you approach it, the elven woman takes one step, but it's strange because you see her take a single step in your direction, and in that moment, she steps directly between you and the coffin, even though there's a great distance in between. It's clear she has the ability to move somehow greater distances than she physically travels. Or she physically travels more than her body technically moved.
Ha! Nice elven trick.
Is that what Toby says?
Yeah.
She just looks at him up and down and goes, "Fancy yourself a smart one, don't you?"
Well, I've been known to be smart every once in a while. Why'd you say that? You got a problem?
I need you to make a constitution save.
Okay.
Or, sorry, wisdom save?
A wisdom save for me. Okay.
A wisdom save for you, yeah.
Yeah, go Norris.
uh-oh.
I love how
That's what
everyone's
I
like,
said.
uh-oh.
That's a bit. Never feels like it's a good thing.
It's gonna be worse when I have to make one.
With the wisdom, like 9.
7.
Jesus. Jesus Christ.
Or wait, no, my wisdom's 8.
Okay,
Intelligence is
and
7.
she just kind of flicks her finger in Toby's direction, and he turns into a toad.
oh,
Oof.
Holy shit.
Let me-
Windsor
I'm gonna
size.
use-
Rabbit.
I'm just
Petra
gonna-
picks
I'm
up the
just gonna
bone
use-
that the goblin. Petra picks up the bone that the goblin chewed on and throws it herself. It just watches it.
I'm just gonna use this right here on you. It's technically petrified, but it's an easy marker. So
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
so he's been turned into a toad, and she looks back at Amaranth, and She goes, I told you this is off limits.
Can you turn my friend back to his normal place, please?
He's noisy. I don't like him.
Ribbit. Ribbit.
You
She
might
picks up her
crow.
foot threateningly towards the toad.
I walk back over towards,
Ribbit.
and I'm like, what's
Rabbit.
going on here?
I turn to the goblin and say, "Hey, who wants to play catch?"
Ribbit.
Okay, so the goblins turn and they go,
What about dice? Did I win? How play?
No, we don't have enough dice. We should play catch.
he turns and looks at the
Petra
entire
told the
bone pile
goblin-
behind him, picks up an entire rib cage and smashes it on the ground in front of him. Bones go scattering everywhere, and he goes,
Dice.
Petra told the goblin he won. At least she thinks.
yeah, no, Petra did say it, but the goblins aren't paying attention to her. Windsor has mentioned this great game called Dice, and they still haven't figured out what it is. So, for the moment, he's a very good distraction. They're low
I pick up-
intelligent. They railroad on a single thought.
I pick up the nearest golem and toss him at the elf.
You throw a goblin at the elf.
Yeah, and say, "Catch!"
Oh no.
Oh,
Okay,
there you go.
hold on.
Love it when a DM says, okay.
Okay, so as you throw this goblin, the nearest one, at her, you see it completely disappear. And in that instant, you get the sense that you saw her hand move, but it's almost like trying to remember a dream. You don't actually remember seeing her hand move, you just know that you saw it, but you can't actually remember seeing the motion of her hand moving. And the goblin just disappeared into thin air. And then she
Okay,
just
that was
turns and
impressive.
looks at Raynor, and she goes, "Is that good enough?"
I do not like to know where this is going.
I'm sorry, did I miss something? I just came here to see what's going on. What is enough?
So she looks past Amaranth at the cleric and immediately recoils a step back, and she goes, "Why are you here?"
Why am I here? That's a good question.
That's a long story. So first my mom and dad met, and then
Well, my fellow party here was interested in what was going on here, and I, a fellow cleric, a healer, and the worshipper of Guffix, am here to help anybody in need.
She ponders on this for a moment, and she goes, "Okay, I have a need. You see, I made a deal with somebody to perform what you see behind you. But now I've run out of things to do. So, let's make a deal." And
Look
as
at
she
her.
says that, the illusion drops. What was once a beautiful woman standing before you is clearly a hag. And the tone of her voice and
Not
everything
the
changes.
hags.
And she goes,
So, would you like to make a deal?
hag of past.
Petra laughs.
Why laughing Petra? I don't know. Everybody else was.
I look at the hag and go, what is this deal that you are talking about exactly?
You tell me, sweetheart. What do you want?
Well, I'm a cleric. I am the worshipper of Guffix. I'm here to help people in need and everything else. Basically, what I want is just to help people around the world. That's my...
Petra,
My
hearing
creed.
this, shouts, not loud, but also just enough for everyone else to hear. He's here to help. He knows about balance and things, and he got me food once, so he's good. He's great.
And she kind of just waves Petra off again, and then looks at Toby and she goes,
I get you've been punished long enough.
flicks her finger, and she turns back into the regular Toby that you all, I would say, know and love, but at least know. So, the hag has presented the opportunity to make a deal. She hasn't specifically said that only one person can make a deal with her. And she's kind of just glancing between all of you, waiting for the opportunity.
What's the
Well, I
deal?
did, yeah.
I was gonna say, what's the deal?
Yeah.
She's
I could always
looking-
use-
She wants to know what you want. As she said to Randall, she wants to know what you want. Because she can't create a deal unless she knows what you want.
Well,
I
I
always
did
did.
say. I did say that. Like, I'm just a cleric. I'm here to help people out and stuff like that. That's all I care about is like helping people, healing the sick and wounded, and stuff like that. You know.
So
I
she
wanna
just
know-
kind of waves her hand at Raynor, make a wisdom save.
A wisdom save? Okay. Okay, where is it? Okay, wisdom. Okay, do I just click on wisdom above?
Yeah.
Yeah, you click on the
Click
spell,
on it
click on
and
wisdom,
then-
it'll say saving
And then
throw.
saving throw.
Oh!
So she flicks her hand, and she manages to knock you back, but only a couple of feet. It was clear she intended to push you back on the outside of the barrier, and she just kind of goes, and just kind of almost a half hiss, half click of her tongue, when she doesn't manage to fully push her under. She goes,
I do hate you guys so much.
and then she turns to Amaranth and she goes,
What about you? Aren't you curious?
and she taps the thing that again Amaranth is unable to see.
I'm so curious.
You, on the other hand, being where she's at, can feel a strange pull from the black smoke. It's not physically pulling on her, but it's almost tugging at her insides.
I want to know what's going on with this coffin. Why all you people are down here?
Food!
Do you say that out loud?
Yes, legitimately.
So again, she turns and takes a single step and goes from between Amaranth and the coffin to directly in front of you. She goes,
Oh, so it's information. I can provide that. But what do you offer me?
He just kind of thinks. Glances between the hag and the weird coffin that's covered in black smoke.
I'm pretty sure the black smoke is invisible to us.
no, you can see the black
we can
smoke.
see it.
Amaranth
just see
cannot
Oh,
through
we
it.
can see
through it.
through it.
Yeah,
Oh,
to you guys,
I'm
it's
dumb.
about as thick as a campfire. To Amaranth, it's as pitch as the void.
I'd like at some point to try and do.
I don't know what I have to offer you. I have no idea what you'd
You'd
even
like to do a
want.
religion check? Okay, what are you attempting to do?
Well, I gotta think of my my prayer first, so that's why
Okay.
I'm thinking about it. So you gotta give me a little bit of here.
Okay, so you think of your prayer. Everybody else, what do you do? Mew, do you have an offer to the hag?
I have no idea what you want because I do not know you.
She grins
And so I do not-
wide, and it's an unnerving grin because it goes far beyond what a human grin would, and it goes all the way back to her ears, and it's just this gaping maw of razor sharp teeth, and she goes,
3 days of your life. Any 3.
I could not hear anything you just said over the music. Is there a way to turn this shit down?
Yes, let me
Music note in the
get that.
chat box.
If it's too loud, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a bit loud.
Let me fix that then. I apologize. I thought it should be too loud. Let's try. Is that better?
That's better.
Okay. My apologies. Hopefully that's better
That's
now.
right.
Yeah. So she looks you in the face, and up comes her hand with 3 fingers held up on it, and she goes,
3 days of your life. Any 3 I want.
That is a big one.
What do you mean, any 3 that you want?
She raises her hands, almost in like a shrug, nonchalantly, and she goes,
You heard my offer. Do you want to know?
I'm gonna try and investigate this coffin while she's like chit-chatting. Not get close to her because then she wouldn't let me. But see
Okay.
if I can just
what are you
investigate,
looking
see
for
what's going on.
specifically?
I'm trying to understand what's in it. Like, I want to be able to see through it because I can't see anything. So I do truly want to touch it, but I want to see if I can find any way in it or what
Okay.
I was
is
actually
it.
gonna do a religion thing
Alright,
at some point.
Go ahead and roll your investigation then. So you don't recognize pretty much anything because in front of you is just a black void. But you do recognize the runes on the ground around it. You're not sure where you recognize them from, but 2 of the runes that you do find on there, you do know where you saw them. It's on a book that only you know about.
Okay.
And that's tying into the backstory stuff that you know of. I'm not giving anything away, but there's a book that your character's aware of, and you recognize 2 of the engraved runes are also carved into that book.
Okay. Cool.
I think I might
And-
have the religion thing. Oh, sorry.
Okay, before you do that, I need a wisdom save from Amaranth.
Okie dokie. You said saving throw.
Yes. Okay, so you have this flash of mental pain, and in it, you see this undead face, just this ghastly lich creature reaching for you, almost as if his hand comes out of the black smoke in front of you, and he grabs your face, and as soon as he does, the hand disappears and the pain goes away. But for that split second, you could have swore that there was some sort of creature coming out of that smoke directly at you. And what did you have, Raynor?
I like to pray to my god, and basically I'll say, Guthix, please help us in our time of need, as I need guidance.
Okay, go ahead and roll religion.
Okay, so I do a normal. Ooh, that's not gonna do anything.
So you reach out and pray, and something strange happens. Not only do you not get an answer, but you feel like Guthix didn't even hear you.
That's so something's like kind of blocking or whatever.
It
Kind
could
of thing?
be. You
That's
just
when
you
I kinda-
feel you feel like you weren't able to connect to Guthix with your prayer at all.
That's when I hold my pendant on my chest and go, That's not right," with a worrisome look on my face.
Petra being concerned about the worrisome look on her friend's face, she walks over, going between Amaranth's legs, and asks, "Are you okay?"
I basically just say, I can't connect to Guthix at all. I don't know if something might be blocking my connection with him.
Okay. And Toby, was there anything you wanted to do?
I've got a passive ability of I can read any writings, so I was wondering if I could read what the runes were.
You absolutely can. So the runes don't seem to be any intelligible language for the most part. A lot of the runes have been scratched out. It looks like they were cleaning up. But what you can read, you see that it mentions the 5 shadow fingers and something called the Oblitus Aurorae, the Oblitus Tenebris, and the Oblitus Memoria, I believe. Yeah, Oblitus Memoria. There's no other context for what these things are, but you are able to read that much.
Petra, really quick, can I use my danger sense?
Well,
Danger sense doesn't work that way.
Damn.
it gives you advantage on dexterity saving throws.
Would I be able to do a history? I'm guessing a history check on those to try and see if I can recognize them from any books I've read or anything.
Absolutely.
See if I can gain any more insight.
Sorry,
on it,
it's the Liber Memoriae is the other one. The last one was the Liber Memoriae.
Just
Okay.
want to add this if everyone's forgotten, because I have not. I wrote this down. When we first met the Necromancer said to us, the Amorie has returned.
Cool.
So just to let you know that, because I have not forgotten.
Okay.
I wrote this down, brother.
So just want to do a history check. Normal. 15. Not bad.
Okay, so you don't recognize everything. However, you do recognize that Oblitus Tenebris is the name for the Forgotten Age, when history was wiped clean about 30,000 years ago. And you have no idea what the Shadow Fingers are. The Liber Memoriae, you feel like you've heard of it, but it's like trying to remember a fleeting dream. It's ringing a bell, but you don't know it.
Basically, I'm getting a bad vibe from this sort of ideas.
Yeah, this is clearly some sort of
Dark magic.
that's most likely dark, potentially necromantic, or
Yeah.
even demonic in nature. It's hard to tell, but it's definitely dark magic of some kind.
I'm gonna whisper to Amaranth, who's next to me, and I'm gonna say, "This is bad juju."
Bad juju, Jesus.
So, Neil, you were left with an offer from the hag.
I don't trust her offer. I need you to explain what you mean by 3 days.
She didn't explain, therefore I'm not going to.
I know, I'm telling her. I need her to explain.
And she
Because I can't just take her word on it.
she
I need
just
to know
kind
what
of
she means.
grins. And she goes, "That's for me to know. Knowledge for knowledge."
Question.
Hmm.
Is
The
there a
door is
magical
there's a
door here?
password.
There is,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, there's a. So you'd have to go through, like, this way to go?
Let me
Petra really quickly just goes,
open that back up
Oh.
for you.
Okay,
That was the
'cause
one
I-
she tried to shove you through, but you smashed into it because it locked. Because your wisdom
Oh.
safe.
no, that was the other one.
No,
Oh.
she tried to throw him through that one. When she
Ooh,
flicked her
it's
hands and
better.
pushed him back, she was trying to shove him through the barrier.
You
Petra
got smashed
can't
into a
see.
barrier, Petra, but she tried to push Raynor back.
Yeah.
Petra, lost in the dark, hits her nose on the side of the cave
That checks out.
wall.
If only you guys, I don't know, had torches or something.
I do, I've used my torch.
She's
Talking to Petra, I
she's
turned it on.
too-
I've got lights on, so
All you have to do is right
can
click
see
your
in the dark.
token. There is a torch icon. It looks like a little flame at the top left.
But
I turned it on.
we're talking about a character with 7 intelligence.
That's true. Okay, so she said what she said is new. What is
How
new?
do I know what knowledge you even have to share? What if it's not even worth my time?
She just shrugs and walks away. But she doesn't use her little teleportation ship. She just casually starts walking away.
I go. I kind of like gesture to the hag that I want to say something to her, kind of thing.
And so she turns her head and looks directly at you, and she goes,
What does the dirty one want?
I kind of take a deep breath and then, you know, relax. I hold my pendant and I say, I just prayed to my god, and it's almost like something is blocking me from hearing him. By any chance, do you have this great power? It seems that you are very powerful, of course.
She looks at the pendant you're holding, and you see a really bad grin on her face. It's almost like a wolf in sheep's clothing grin. She goes,
I knew you were dirty, but oh boy, you are in trouble. Your
Raynor,
guts can't reach you here.
Raynor just has his eyes grow big. By the name of Guthix, what have you done?
as you say that name, the blackness in the room pulses. Just a and you feel it wash all over you, and for a moment, the blackness itself feels like infinite despair as it washes out across everybody in the room.
Yeah, I don't like this, and I think we should leave.
He was gonna slowly approach the thing because he still feels the energy coming from this thing and see if she can just get a better look at it.
Okay, how close are you getting?
About where she is now.
Okay,
As close as she
so
can get
let
without
me
the
move.
hag, like,
You are on the same thing as a goblin. Let me move the goblin.
stopping me.
Okay, and what are you looking for?
Just, do I recognize any of the markings? Does the
Roll
energy from it feel like familiar to me or anything like that?
Roll Arcana.
Kinda.
Ooh.
Okay, so you definitely recognize the feeling of that infinite darkness because you feel that every time you cast a spell. But other than that, you have no idea what's going on.
Petra's slowly becoming more and more anxious.
Yeah. What I'm gonna say to the hag is, did you awaken a lich?
She turns and looks Amaranth in the face and she goes,
You are a snoopy one. But knowledge is not free, my dear.
She wants something from me again. I know she does.
Toby's getting anxious. Toby's about to do something stupid.
okay.
Who wants to play
Raynor-
catch?
Raynor gets kind of gets to one knee and then just holds his pendant while like kind of a little bit like, you know, has anxiety, praying, you know, even though obviously there's nothing, it's something that a cleric would do, is that
Yeah.
he's like kind of like
Trying
shaking.
to reach his god even if he can't. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just kind of shaking because he knows obviously there's something very wrong, and he's just kind of praying while shaking, you know, and in a little bit of fear.
Hello,
Toby-
you reached Guth's voicemail. I'm not here right now. Leave a message at the tone.
Oh,
Can Toby do his stupid thing now?
I guess so.
Toby just pulls out a small, looks like a round circular disc that has like a green gem on the front of it,
Okay.
and points it at the coffin, and this massive jet stream of acid just flies over the whole thing.
Okay. So you're acid spraying at the coffin itself?
No, I'm doing Tesha's caustic brew, which basically puts coffin over. I can put the spell in the chat if that helps.
Oh, I'm pulling it up real quick just to double check.
So basically, it has to do a dexterity saving throw, but obviously, an inanimate object can't do a dexterity saving throw, so it just does 2d4's worth of acid each turn until it's scraped off of it.
Okay. Yeah, so you lift this up and then just like blast a stream of acid directly at it.
Yeah, I'm just going to cast a spell so I can get rid of the spell slot, just
Yes.
to let you know.
Yes.
Oh shit, wait a minute, I got.
And
How do I pivot that?
Do what?
Oh, wait a minute, there you go. So that'll be that.
Okay.
There you go. Just to let you know. So I have to point which direction it goes in.
Yeah. No, that's good. Okay. So you don't end up hitting the hag or anything, and she just
No,
turns
no.
and watches this acid spray. At first, you could tell she was ready to defend herself.
Mm-hmm.
But then she realized you weren't aiming at her, so she wanted to see what you were gonna do. And she watches this acid spray over this coffin, and she just kind of snickers.
Somebody doesn't like my stuff.
You think?
And
Sorry.
she just looks at it and kind of waves her hand off. She's like,
I don't need it anymore anyway.
and she kind of crumples her hand, and the coffin itself just kind of implodes into rubble. And now it's just this acid-covered, rubbly mess.
Well, I'm gonna take a step back and slowly walk out of it.
Petra tries to console Raynor.
Okay, so you're gonna attempt to
slowly
leave?
directs him towards
Yeah.
the exit.
So as you attempt to leave, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. So as you turn around and walk towards the thing, she yanks you back towards her, and she goes,
Excuse me. We were making a deal.
and she then lifts her hands up and snaps her fingers, and the locks behind you, the invisible barriers that create that blurry effect, they solidify and become this almost crystal wall behind you.
How are we supposed to make a deal with you when you can't even prove that the knowledge you have about whatever is going on here is
don't
worth anything
cheat.
to us?
I never cheat on a deal. You want
Hags do.
knowledge. I have knowledge. You want to know why this coffin was connected to your god.
Wait,
Yeah, and I want to know the connection of the connection to me as well. I'm like, what is this?
So she just kind of sits there and waits. She knows at this point that she's intrigued at least two of you. So she's just waiting for some sort of deal to be thrown her way.
Fuck it.
As
I'm gonna
hags
do
are
it.
wont to do, they can't resist a good deal.
Yep, I'm gonna do it.
3 days.
Yeah, fuck it.
Okay, so you're gonna
I'll
offer 3 days of your life.
I'll offer 2.
I'll offer 2. 1.5.
So how do you say this in game?
I say 2 days, and it has to be in the next 2 years.
Okay. And you?
2 days. But I want to know why she wants these 2 days and when these 2 days will be.
You sure that's what you want to say?
Yes.
Okay. So she lifts her hands up and she snaps her fingers, and you feel this sort of magic wrap around your hand, both Amaranth and Neo. And you feel your hands kind of go up into the air, almost like you're raising your hand for like a pledge of sorts. And she holds out a pointed finger, just like this nasty long claw on it, and she just draws an X on each of your hands, and it almost looks like a tally. And you get these lines that they're almost cuts, but instead of actually cutting the skin, they seem to cut the space at the skin, leaving these traced marks that are almost like scars, but you don't feel them and you can't really touch them. They just kind of are there at the surface of the skin, almost like an illusion, like a tally mark. And she goes,
Deal!
she turns to New and she goes,
I'll take the days that are most important to me, including today and the next time we meet.
and with that she snaps her fingers and New goes unconscious. And New will not remember what happened today, from midnight to midnight, because she made a deal to know what days were going to be taken.
Quick, who's
Amaranth,
got a Sharpie?
Amaranth, on the other hand, made a deal to know why she could not see the coffin, correct? And what the
connection?
coffin, yeah, what your connection is. So, after she snaps her fingers and New goes unconscious, she turns to Amaranth and she picks up her finger. And then as she turns it, you can feel something leave your backpack. And she holds up a book in her hand. And she goes,
They seek the immemorial, and you guard it.
and she hands it back to you.
Okay. I have more questions now.
So she looks at you for a moment, and she ponders, and she goes,
I'll tell you what. I know who you were before, and I'll tell you this word. Your questions will be answered long before you expect them to be, because they're coming for that book. You want to know why you can't see this? Because you deleted it yourself.
Oh, shit. Shit, okay. That's just giving me. I have more questions and no answers.
she didn't
More
say she
questions.
would answer all your questions. She said she would
I
give
know
you
she
knowledge.
would. I deleted it.
You deleted it yourself.
Deleted it myself. And that's why I don't remember.
And with that, she looks at the rest of you and she goes,
Does anybody else have any questions?
Is there food around here?
Of course.
she grins and goes,
Do you want to make a deal for it?
Don't do it, 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 don't do it.
Okay, so let me get this right. So if we want to make a deal with you, we got to raise our hands and pledge allegiance to the hag.
oh, okay. So, I would give you inspiration, but you've already got it, so there's that. But she kind of cackles when you say that. Clearly, you know, has a sense of humor. She just kind of goes,
I'll tell you what, one free question for the funny one.
Oh, good. Now I'm listening.
What's your questions, huh?
No, no. now I'm on a stage. Who released the necromancer that we encountered in the woods?
she grins.
That is the perfect question.
And she clenches her hand and then lifts it up and opens it again, and the coffin reassembles behind her and the smoke clears. And carved into the top of it, in runes that Toby would be able to read, is the name Phobrix. And she goes,
You want to know who? I didn't. This was his tomb.
How do you spell Phobrix, by the way?
Phobrix.
Petra speaks up once again. Where's the food?
She snaps her finger, and New has an illusion cast on her that makes her look like a giant turkey leg.
Oh god.
Petra's head snaps towards you. And she starts
Someone
walking
grab the
over.
chart. Someone grab the warlock. Please, someone grab the warlock.
I snap out of my, my
Petra at this
praying
point is standing
daze,
over you
and I'm
with a very hungry look on her face. Go ahead.
But yeah, I instantly after
If you would
that
like,
happened.
if you would like, Petra, you can try a wisdom save to see if you snap out of the illusion. If you want to try.
I'll do that. I'll try.
Yeah,
Nope.
nope. You're just like, this is the juiciest turkey leg you've ever seen, and it's huge. It's perfect.
I snap out of my my little praying thing and all that stuff, and I look at Petra and go, "No, that is one of our comrades. That's new. Don't."
But
As I
it's a giant chicken leg!
Well, I know the chicken leg's new. It just got here.
listen. If you don't eat the quote chicken leg, I will buy you as much food as you want at a tavern.
Petra stops and ponders. She just kind of scratches her head, wondering what's the better deal.
You can't eat a comrade. Come on.
I just see a chicken leg. And she
I-
smell. Did
It
the
is a
hag
greater illusion. You can smell it. You can feel the heat coming off of it. Oh, it's the perfect turkey breast in front of you, or turkey leg in front of you. You can, like I said, you can smell it. You can see the steam coming off of it. You can feel the heat from the grilling. Like, this is, as far as you're able to tell, that is a real giant turkey leg.
Okay, I go pick up the turkey leg and keep it out of Petra's reach.
That was
Yes,
great.
please.
Petra tries to like swipe him away.
Give me the turkey leg.
Yeah,
This is
Raynor,
mine!
Raynor, if you would corral Petra for us, please.
Right.
Yeah, I go to Petra in front of her and say, no, 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 no.
Oh gosh. I'm gonna say to the cat, can we leave now, please?
Petra
Yes,
glares at Raynor.
She
And at Windsor.
She waves her hand, and the crystalline wall behind you all immediately just collapses and opens up. And as she does that, New also turns back into New and is no longer a giant turkey leg.
When did New get there?
It's just like, hey.
Turkey leg. Where's my turkey leg gone?
And as Amaranth turns to leave, she kind of brings a clawed finger up and kind of does the come here thing with her finger,
Oh, God.
and then whispers in her ear, and she goes,
See you soon.
I really hope not.
My pretty.
okay, and then let me.
Petra kind of just whines and goes to
New's been
Raynor
carried
and
out
climbs
here
up
a few
onto his
days.
shoulder,
I just look at
her
you.
stomach grumbling.
I just look at you and say, I told you that wasn't a chicken leg.
Okay, so
It's like
this
one,
point-
and it smelled like one.
at this point, you've come out of the cave. You step out into the blinding sunlight since you've been down there for so long, and you step out and you see, you know, there's the forest there, and then there's the path going up the hill. But you notice that as you step out of the cave, that immediately the goblins that were before completely clueless to you being there were standing at the top of the cliffs looking down at you. However, they don't appear to be completely hostile. They're not attempting to attack you or anything, they're just watching. Like they're amused
Petra's
that
just-
you came out alive.
Ah.
Petra's just looking distraught. She's and hungry, and she's just like, she's not having a good time because she really wanted to eat that turkey leg that somehow appeared, but apparently was new.
Goodness. Yeah, I think we should go. I'm gonna look at my book and try and find out what is going on with this bloody book. Well, like walking away from the goblins.
Okay, so
Well,
you guys are not gonna take the road up?
So to follow, I was going to ask, to go north, we have to go through the camp.
You have to go through the camp. It seems like there's cliff walls all the way around. This is, as far as you can see, the only way into the canyon.
Okay, well I guess.
We, I don't know, try to reason with them? And
Now let's
talk-
walk and see what happens.
It's
Yeah.
I guess
Let's see what
so.
happens.
So
They
your
may not
plan is
attack
to
us.
walk through the camp?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
So
Petra, Petra's poised on top of Raynor's shoulders at this point.
Okay. So you all are moving along
It just
the road.
it-
New's not moving herself.
Yeah, you feel.
I mean,
She's unconscious.
she's unconscious.
Yeah,
winds
but you're being
are-
carried, so you can still keep your token
Yeah.
with them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because Windsor's carrying you.
carrying you.
But yeah, so you guys follow the road up to the top of the cliffs there, and straight back to this section. Yep, right there where you guys are at. And as you do, the goblins are watching you, and they're all grinning, but none of them make any attempts to actually stop you in any way.
Oh, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Petra's stomach is still rumbling.
And as you come up to the top through the cliffs there, you see that it's just this long, narrow canyon. But you kind of go into the canyon, and let me fast. So you spend about 2 hours down there with the witch, with the hag, dealing with everything, and then you come up there and you walk. And about 6 hours of walking later, you arrive at the town of Quarry's Cradle.
Oh,
Da, 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 da.
So you're coming through these canyons, and they're, you know, giant cliffs on both sides of you, absolutely just skyscraping cliffs. And they seem to wind and wind and wind. There's no clear end to this path because every time you try to look ahead, all you see is another cliff wall turning. But all of a sudden, it just opens up. And in front of you, you see this. It's different than what you're used to. The buildings aren't made of wood. They're made out of almost like a clay, they look like to you. And you can see that it's a
Aw, how
fairly
adorable.
large... Exactly. You can see that it's a fairly large settlement. It actually is quite big, especially compared to a small hamlet like Welton. So as you walk in, you notice that there's the main road there, and as you come up to the main road, you can see at the very north end of the town is a giant church. And then there's a bunch of little buildings all over the place. You can clearly see that on the east side of the main street there are several shops. And on the west side, it looks like there's residential district over there. And as you were coming into town, you noticed that you passed what seemed to be like a blacksmith's and some warehouses.
Petra
on-
sniffs around. She's trying to look for food. Her stomach is still rumbling.
On
the
the walk,
promise of a giant turkey leg.
on the walk here, for the 6 hours. I
Yes.
approach Amarith and ask if she wants a hand reading her book,
Oh, okay.
as I can read anything.
Okay.
Might not understand it, but I can read it.
Amaranth, what do you do?
I'm going to say no. It's completely blank.
Okay. Well, do you mind if I have a look, just in case?
I would rather you didn't.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. Yep. So all of that happened on the walk, and
Yeah.
then reeling it back forward, we're here at the town, exactly as I described. Where are you guys going first?
To the inn.
Petra's gonna go look for
To
food.
the inn. Okay. So you look around and there's no inn. You can't find it any. You're on the main street and you're looking around and you see on one side the shops, but then all you see is a church and the houses. You don't particularly see an inn.
Okay.
Petra peeks into each of the shops, seeing if there's any food in any of them.
I'll go into one shop and see if there's anywhere to sleep. If we can find a place where you would normally go to sleep.
Petra doesn't care about sleep at this point.
So
Petra's hungry.
looking around, peeking into all the different shops, and a bunch of confused shopkeepers see this little halfling head pop in and drool on their floor and then leave. And they're very confused why this is happening until she gets to the last building at the far right when she shoves her head in it, and it's clearly like the town general store, and they have, various different cuts of meat and things like that in a section there on the back wall. And in case you haven't noticed, I am trying to lean more towards Theater of the Mind stuff this time around to see how it works out.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're being stopped by a giant sign.
Yes.
I mean, me being a cleric, I just like slowly head towards the church.
Okay. So you go into the church,
Pet-
and Petra's going into the store. Where's everybody else going?
I'll go into one of the stores and see if if they can tell me where there's a place to stay, if there is a place.
Okay. So the stores along here, which one do you go into? Or are you just going into each one and asking?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go into each one, I guess, slowly.
Okay,
I'll
so
go to
you
the-
go into the
yeah.
first one, and the shopkeeper is this nice, bubbly personality, and she goes, "Oh, yeah, no, there's nowhere to stay no more. Not since,
No.
it collapsed and, you know." And then she just kind of
Quarry.
looks at you expectantly, like she expects you to know what she means by the collapse.
Yeah, like, I feel like I'm missing something here.
And she looks at you, still fully expecting you to understand what the collapse is, and she goes, "Yeah, no, it was part of that."
I'm
Petra
sorry,
being too hungry to
I'm
think
missing
is
something here.
reaching for food to begin to eat.
I'm missing something here. You're gonna have to rewind and tell me what this collapse is.
And she kind of looks at you confused, and she goes, "You know, the collapse happened a few months back now."
You can keep saying that. You said it. You said it twice now, and I've said I don't know what you're talking about.
And she just kind of turns and runs out the back door.
Okay.
I'm glad we have you for negotiations.
I didn't do anything. I asked her.
Petra at this point is now just tearing into a piece of food that she grabbed.
Okay. And
She didn't even pay for it.
as she does, the shopkeeper runs out from behind his counter and he goes, "Hey, you gotta pay for that."
Petra just kind of glares at him, growling lowly. She is not thinking. She is too hungry.
And he kind of
And she is
go
prepared
ahead and
to
roll intimidation.
protect. And she is prepared to protect the food that she is currently eating.
with your checks, that's an 8. Um.
Mm.
Okay,
Oh,
so
shit.
I need you
Uh-oh.
to roll a. Hold on. Let me double check I got this right.
Care to get in the bunghole check?
More
I
growl, less slobber next time.
need a wisdom check from you, I believe.
For Petra?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Okay, then that's no resistance. Let's see here. How much HP does yep, so he takes out a bottle and he smashes it over Petra's head, and she goes unconscious from the sleeping potion that got all over her face.
Well, Petra's found a
So
place to sleep.
Petra's taking a nap.
That's alright. I'll get one of my rages back and hit him over the head.
So now 2 of you are unconscious.
Okay,
Right.
let's inquire about the House of Ill Repute in the town.
I'm gonna go over. Toby's gonna go over to where the quarry is, where he's seen the ruined buildings, and just have a look at the ruined buildings.
Okay, so as you do, you come over there and you notice there's flags for what should be a guild hall and one of the warehouses, and they both seem collapsed. And in their place, where the foundations should be, you see holes leading underground. Just dozens of
Ah.
these small holes. The holes
Not
themselves are
excited.
probably about 4 feet wide, and
Mhm.
you cannot tell how deep they go.
Oh dear. That doesn't look good.
Here we go.
I take it the houses around are just like regular people's houses.
So those ones are the warehouses I mentioned.
Oh, they're
The
more
ones that your
warehouses.
mouse are going on. Yeah. So if you look at the map, you should see Breville Street, Red Alley, and Craggy Court. So, Craggy Circle. So Craggy Circle is the houses that you guys were able to see from Main Street.
Mhm.
You were not able to see Red Alley or Breville Street very well from the main street there.
That's fine. I'll look. I'll go into some of the warehouses and see what produce they have here.
Okay, so you go up
If-
to one of the warehouses, and as you reach for the door handle, somebody goes, "Hey, hey! That's private property. What do you think you're doing?"
Oh, sorry there, friend. I just was curious to see what caused the collapse.
Well, you don't need to be curious in my warehouse, all right? This is mine,
Oh.
all right? This is for my business. I'm
I
not going to
do-
have no burglars coming into town and taking my stuff, okay? I've already lost enough in the collapse.
Oh yeah, how did the collapse happen?
He kind of looks at you, and then he turns around and runs in the direction of the church.
Okay, I'll follow him in the direction of the church then.
Okay. Now, Raynor went directly to the church, right?
Yes, yeah, he went.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So did you go inside the church, or did you stop outside, or what did Raynor do?
I am inside the church. I go inside the church.
So you walk inside, and as you do, you see this terrified shopkeep lady come running right past you into the church. And then a few moments later, you see the warehouse guy come running in right to the back of the church. Neither of them paying you any heed. The church itself is rather nice. It's not opulent, but it's nice. So, you know,
Petra's
it's
still unconscious.
not marble inlays and gold filigree, but it is nice. There's carvings and things like that. Like it's clearly a loved church in the area. And at the very, center point of the church, you can see that there is a statue. You don't necessarily recognize the god. You would have to roll religion for that, but it doesn't immediately come to mind. But yeah, you walk into the church, and standing next to the statue is what appears to be a town priest or something. And both of the people that ran past Raynor run straight to that priest and are telling him something.
Okay,
I take it I follow in a little bit afterwards.
Yes. Yeah, you would come in about 45 seconds or so after the dude runs past Raynor.
Mm-hmm.
So you would be coming in right now as Raynor does.
Yeah. And I basically slowly
What does
walk
the
up.
shopkeep do? Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
I was like, I slowly go up to the priest and the shopkeeper and the what was it, the woman that ran through?
Yeah. So there was the female shopkeeper and the male warehouse owner,
And then there's the priest,
and
and
then there's the priest.
I say, excuse me, my name is Raynor, a worshipper of Guthix. Is there something wrong?
Uh, roll a persuasion with disadvantage.
Okay. There, where am I? Here I am.
Priest, a
Okay.
warehouse owner, and a shop clerk walk
Let's
into a bar.
see here. Attributes, and then you said a persuasion?
Yes, roll persuasion with disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Okay.
So the priest turns and he looks you up and down and he goes, I don't believe we've met. It's a
Uh,
pleasure to meet you. Rudolph, you've said? And he kind of
uh,
almost looks like he's looking down on you. And he holds his hand out in what looks like he's attempting to shake your hand, but in kind of the way that you would touch a sick dog.
right. Nice to meet you. My name is Raynor, by the way.
And he kind of just shakes your hand and waves it off and goes, right, Randy, got it. I'll remember that. Anyways, I have business to attend to, so if you could just, whatever it is that you do it quietly. And then he turns back around to talk to the other two people.
Hmm.
What does the shopkeep do with the unconscious Petra?
I will get to that in a second. I'm trying to
Oh,
like
you don't
jump
want
from scene to scene here.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
well,
Fair
I'm
enough.
pretty much done doing what I'm doing, so.
Okay. Yeah, so Petra completely unconscious. He picks her up and hauls her into the church, walks right past Raynor. Do you attempt to stop him?
Uh, yeah, I attempt to stop him.
Okay. How are you going to attempt to stop him?
I'm just gonna kind of like put my hand, like, kind of stop his way through and go, like, hey, wait a second. Like, that's my friend, kind of thing.
Okay, and he stops and he turns and he looks at you and he goes, yeah, well, she's a thief. Went to my store, started eating everything.
How much did she eat exactly?
About 10 golds worth before I was able to knock her on the head.
By any chance, could I
Petra's
pay
head is bleeding.
for that 10 gold? The worth of stuff?
He looks at Petra and he looks at you. Roll another persuasion at disadvantage.
Okay, let's see. Are you? No, it's not persuasion. There's persuasion and then a disadvantage.
Disadvantage. He kind of looks
Oh,
between the two of you, then
okay.
reaches up and strokes his chin, and he goes, well, I had to use a sleeping potion to put her to sleep. That's another 15 gold. So I tell you what, for my trouble, for the potion, and for the food, 30 gold, and you can have her. Or I'm taking her over there, she going to jail.
I say, okay, fair enough. I will give you that 30 gold.
Okay, so go ahead and subtract 30 gold from your character sheet. And then he takes the gold and kind of goes, takes Petra and very unceremoniously kind of huffs her at you, and then turns and walks out with his gold.
Petra's forehead is bleeding from the
Yes,
bottle
but
being
not
smashed on
much
her head.
because the bottle itself is
Not much.
designed for that. Also, that is the 15-minute reminder, just so you guys know we have 15 minutes
Okay.
left.
Okay.
Aw, Petra looks so cute,
I
sleeping
do.
with snot bubbles coming out her nose. Okay, so Windsar's figured out how to find some place to sleep. So he walks up to one of the residential buildings,
Mm-hmm.
houses, knocks on the door, waits for an answer. When the person answers, he said, "So, what caused the quake or collapse?" And when they run away, he goes inside, throws New on the bed, and goes find some place to sleep.
Okay. Um, we'll just say for ease of remembrance that New was dropped into this building here. Sound good?
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. So you walk inside, you say that, the person immediately turns and runs to the church. And then you drop New in, and you said you go to the church?
No, I just find someplace else in the house to rest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you drop her on the bed, and then you go, you look around. It's not a really superbly furnished place, but it's also not terrible. You find that there is the main bed that you drop New in, and then just around the corner there's a secondary bedroom. It's got a slightly smaller bed in it, but it's fully furnished with pillows and everything, so you're able to just kind of hang out in that room.
Okay.
Okay. And the next person comes running past everybody in the church and goes straight to the priest, and he kind of just wipes his face, almost exasperated, as he sees somebody else come running in. And you hear him curse under his breath as the person arrives, and then they start talking in whispered tones.
Today, what you doing?
I will head up to the priest and ask what's going on.
Okay, so what do you say when you get there?
I head up to the priest and go, "Excuse me, sir.
And the
Why
priest,
is everyone
no,
why is everyone running up to you about the collapse when we ask questions?"
so he turns and he looks at you. Roll a persuasion check.
Okay. Ooh.
Okay, yeah. So he turns and he looks at you and he goes, "Honestly, these people are very superstitious. I don't even understand it myself sometimes. I get having faith, but they constantly run to me every time something strange happens, ever since the collapse."
Oh, well, okay. Go off, Windsor.
That was a misclick. Don't worry about
So how did the collapse happen then?
He kind of shrugs and he goes, "We don't know. It
Okay.
was, I would say sometime around last winter. There were some tremors, rather powerful earthquakes. Um, and ever since then, buildings have seemed to randomly collapse around the village, or around the town. And whenever a building collapses, there's these odd holes left behind. The townsfolk seem to think it has something to do with demons. While I have very strong faith in Serene, I do not believe that these are demonic in nature. I couldn't tell you the source, but I do not believe them to truly be demonic. There's no dark aura radiating from them or anything of that sort. But it seems about, yeah, last winter or so, the quakes happened, and then ever since we've been plagued by these collapsing buildings. The event that they refer to, the collapse, was the original one that took out the Adventurers Guild near the blacksmith and the warehouses. You must have seen it when you came in.
Yes, I went and had a look myself actually.
And he kind
Hence
of
why one of the other gentlemen came running because I asked him about the collapse.
and he turns to the other gentleman and kind of turns back to you and he goes, "Ah, you're the warehouse thief. Okay."
Not a thief, but all I wanted to do was look for someone, so I thought they'd be in a warehouse, so I went to go open the door, and then that gentleman there, just came running over to me.
He turns to the guy that accused you of being a thief,
Mhm.
and he whispers something, and the guy kind of just nods and goes and sits down somewhere in the church and just kind of looks like he starts praying. And then he
Fair enough.
goes, "I apologize. Like I said, overzealous crowds sometimes. With everything, people have lost quite a lot, so they're very protective of what they have left. And being a mining and quarry town, those warehouses are we keep all the important valuables that we find, gemstones and ore, and the like. So attempting to get in would look certainly suspicious."
I can understand that. Out of curiosity, is the quarry still open, or is that now closed because of the collapsing?
Well, at first we kept the quarry open, until one of those holes opened in the quarry itself. And then I forbade anybody from going down there so they didn't hurt themselves. I don't think what's down those holes is demonic, but I
Hmm.
also don't think it's safe.
Would you want some people to go check it out for you, maybe?
He kind of looks at you and then looks past you, actually registering the other people for the first time, and then back at you, and he goes, "If you're willing to risk your life, absolutely. And if you happen to find our valuables down there and return them to us, that would be lovely."
Would there be
Yeah,
some
right.
sort of financial aid you could offer, maybe?
Okay, I want you to roll a persuasion with disadvantage.
Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be
Well.
fun. This is where I rolled 2 nat 20s. Watch. That's happened before now. Oh, it was so close.
Oh.
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 So he kind of crinkles his nose and he goes,
Mm.
"First you offer to help, and then you expect reward for offering. That's rather presumptuous, don't you think? I
Well, it's
suppose
only
if you
offering
manage
steps.
to find our lost belongings,
Mhm.
if you return them to the
Mm.
rightful owners, then they would be entitled to give you any reward that they seem fit. However, as simply a priest, I can't offer you a portion of somebody else's goods."
Oh, that's fair. I was just thought you seemed to be the one more in charge than anyone else, as everyone seems to be running to you.
Like I said, they run to me out of superstition. I appreciate all the love that my church gets from this, but at the same time, I do worry about their overzealous nature.
Is there a town mayor possibly we could talk to or something?
And he kind of pauses for a moment, and then he kind of fidgets his fingers, and he goes, "The mayor was in the quarry when the tunnel opened. We haven't seen him since."
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, okay, I understand. Well, I'll leave you to your flock, as it were.
And he just kind of nods, and he turns back to the other two that were beside him and goes back to talking to them.
Cool.
Okay? And
Mhm.
7 minutes left, just so you guys know.
I'll leave someone else to talk.
Okay. Well, I've just gone into a shopkeeper and she just ran away from me. So I'm going to.
Petra's still asleep.
Yeah,
Yes,
you are, my
Petra's still
dear.
asleep.
So I'm gonna walk out and then see if I can like find where
She's
everyone
gonna
ran
be
off
hungry
to.
when she wakes up, though. She's gonna say
Okay,
this. Every
well,
time she sleeps, she gets hungry.
hold on. What were you saying, Amaranth?
I was saying that I'm just obviously she's just run out the door and I'm just gonna see where she ran off to, pretty much just find out where everyone else has gone.
Okay, so she takes off out the back of the building, and as she does, you see the door kind of flap open, and you see her taking off up Main Street. So you're able to just kind of lean back out the door you originally poked your head in, and you just see her taking off a perfect beeline straight towards the church.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll make my way to the church then, really.
Okay. And you would have gotten there right about the same time that Raynor bought Petra back.
Yeah, I'm just kind of sitting there, like checking her out, making sure she's okay, kind of thing.
Okay. Did you want to do a medicine check, or is that just flavor?
Well, she's not really. I guess I could do a medicine check. Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Okay, let's see here. Attribute. I do have medicine, and then just do
Yes.
normal.
Yep. Yeah, so you look her over, and you immediately identify that she's been put under, a magical sleep. But you also can tell that she's not going to be asleep for very long. Sleeping potions usually don't last very long to begin with. So you just kind of go, she's got a couple scrapes and bruises, but he didn't rough her up too much, so not a big deal.
Okay.
In other words, she's fine.
Yeah. I don't really have anything else to do, really, considering we got like 5 minutes.
Okay. Does anybody want to do anything else before the last 5 minutes?
I just want to ask the priest if there's somewhere we can stay.
So you go up and you ask him, and he goes, "Well, I hate to do this, but if you follow, Breville Street to where it meets Red Alley, there's a large building in the back that offers comfort services.
Okay.
They frequently rent out rooms. I don't know if they would particularly rent out empty rooms, though."
Okay. Thank you
Well
for that.
then, Quarry's Cradle just got a lot more fun.
Yeah, this is a big mining trade town. So they have quite a lot of stuff go through here. So it's a lot of sailors, for a lot of like rivermen, like the
Mhm.
ferry owner that you guys met would
I
Yeah.
don't-
particularly
would you
find this
call
funny.
them seamen?
Ugh.
Exactly.
But there's no sea, there's just a river.
Exactly. So rivermen.
Long and hard and
Um,
full of semen.
So
Exactly.
I will go to that place, see if I can rent a room quickly while we still got the time.
Okay. So you run over there, and let me pull this up real quick, because I am bad at this. But where's that?
Even I had that
Just
even like
charted.
disgusting, disgusting cretin.
Okay, so you
Charred,
get over
holy
there,
crap.
and you walk in, and there's a beautiful woman standing there, but she's very clearly in her golden years. She appears to be an elderly elven woman, and
Mhm.
she's all trussed up. She's got her hair done, perfect makeup, wearing a seductive outfit, and she steps out from behind a counter as you walk in, and she goes, "Welcome, welcome. Uh, can I interest you in anything particular, perhaps?" And she kind of eyes you up and down, and
Oh.
then she kind of waves her hand to what looks like a lounge area, and you see several hunky men that are clearly like built for mining, big strong men, and she just kind of nonchalantly waves in their direction.
Ooh la la.
Raynor gets hard. No.
Like, don't get distracted, don't get distracted, don't get distracted. I am here. I'll just basically briefly say, look, I know about the collapse. All I want to do is just rent a room. I need to sleep. I'm tired.
And she kind of steps back for a minute and she goes, "So, just the room?"
Oh, just the room.
2 gold per person.
Well, so do 2 people have already found a place. So here's your 2 gold. And I'm gonna go upstairs and sleep.
Okay. So everybody that's staying at the House of Fun Times, subtract 2 gold from your sheets.
Okay, I guess that's what
And-
we'll all do. Yeah.
And I'm going
Apart
to
from Windsor and
pause.
Near, who get to go for free.
Yeah. Windsor and you are sleeping in a house that they commandeered.
I did nothing. I'm innocent.
Petra's asleep, so I'm just gonna assume Raynor just takes like
Petra
2
would have
gold out of
woken
her
up right
bag.
about the time that they made it there.
Oh, okay.
So you would have woken up
She
being held by
She just-
Raynor in a house full of sex.
she
Um,
looks around very confused.
How much is it for a room with company?
So a room with company is 8 gold if you just want like a simple room and one of the partners. If you want one of the quote unquote premium partners, or the ones that are the considered to be the most attractive, then instead of 8 gold, it is going to be 12 gold.
Pick wisely is what I have to say. Pick wisely. I mean, I don't care. You're not making this. That's your character.
Yeah, it's not like she wants to get fucked in the game.
She
Hey.
won't even let him. She won't even let him into her pages, let alone her bed. So
Exactly. It's not me. It's my
Exactly.
character. So have your fun, mate.
I'll take the 12 gold then.
Of course you would. You definitely will.
and she kind of waves her hand, and you see 3 beautiful women. One is a really tall,
Oh.
another elf, and she's much younger than the madam. And she
Mhm.
walks up and she stands beside the madam on one side, and then on the other side you see a big Goliath woman. But she's rather slender for a Goliath, so she's got really long legs and she's very toned, but also very tall.
Mhm.
And then you see a gnome come around, and
Oh.
although gnomes aren't generally known to be beautiful, she actually looks really good, especially for her race. And the madam turns to you and goes, "Take your pick."
I walk up to the Goliath lady and
Of
just look
course
up
you
at
would.
her.
You whore.
Okay, and
Petra
she
just
just
kind of
picks
watches
you up and
everything
walks away.
confused.
Just
Of
picks
course
Toby
she
up and walks away to the room.
Yay!
You also say that it's your birthday, or
My birthday no
Okay,
more, apparently.
So I'm gonna
Petra-
stop it here because I know Torin's got to run out real quick.
Yeah.
But before people start disappearing,
Mhm.
Zoe says that she's okay not doing the Saturday raids anymore that she's been running, which means we would be able to start earlier, 2, even potentially 3 hours earlier than we have
Oh
been,
god.
which would mean a potential 2 or so hours of extra game time each week.
Yeah,
I want to
that's
know
fine.
if anybody objects to starting 2 hours earlier.
No, I don't.
2
I-
hours early. So instead of it being 8, it would be for me. It'd be let me
6.
think. It'd be
6.
6.
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock for you. It'd be 10 o'clock in the evening for us to start.
That's not a problem for us. It's obviously
Yeah.
early
It
is
would
better,
be like 12, 11 o'clock for me.
Yeah, whatever time we started tonight, 2 hours earlier than that for you.
so that's fine for us.
Yeah.
That's fine for me and Bex then, yeah.
Okay, does anybody have a
Yeah.
I have no
problem
issues.
starting then?
Nope.
I don't
Other
have any
than-
problems.
Okay.
Cool.
All right,
There you
then when I schedule the next Roll Rota, I'm going to schedule it for 2 hours earlier, and
Yeah.
hopefully next week we'll be able to play for 3 hours or maybe even more.
Well, it
Cool.
should be about 4 hours.
Yay.
Really.
Yeah, up to 4 hours. I know Torin has been wanting to leave earlier than like the last minute because he's got dinner and
Mm.
stuff. So it might
fair
come closer to like 3.5, but
Yeah.
but this will give us a
Yeah, don't
lot
worry
more
about it.
time to really get in and do stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yay.
cool.
Also, I have something important to show Toonie.
Okay.
No, you're pregnant?
Well, that
Oh, okay.
obviously. But this is basically what he did in